You covered Taylor Lorenz retweeting all of your anti-fans today. No, but I mean, that's expected. Okay. Why the fuck did this get weird? All right. The 1630 fund. Is this a singular entity? I saw the Josiah thing about Tim Miller saying something, but if he wants me to hop on, I don't know how to even do it. Yeah. Okay. Why not just add to this? Oh, these were notes I took on the article. I don't think I did much of breaking down these things in here. He was mad at Peace Coast's reaction to a super chat prior to joining the Live and Learn stream. I'll watch it after this. Just give me like an hour for this. Okay. The 1630 fund is a 501c4. To be tax exempt as a social welfare organization described in the Internal Revenue Code, Section 501c4, an organization must not be organized for profit and must be operated exclusively to promote social welfare. The earnings of a Section 501c4 organization may not inure to the benefit of any private shareholder or individual if the organization engages in an excess benefit transaction with a person having substantial influence over the organization. An excise tax may be imposed on the person and any managers agreeing to the transaction. Inurement. The fuck does this mean? I don't even know what the fuck this word means. Hold on. Unjustified transfer. Pronounce. 1 minute video. Can you just say it right away? Hello?
Inurement.
Inurement. New legislation enacted at the end of 2015 added Section 506 to the Internal Revenue Code. Section 506 requires an organization of IRS to operate as a 501c4. The IRS to develop a new Form 8976. This requirement only applies to organizations attending operating under 501c4. Okay, this is for C4s. Similarly, an organization formed to represent member tenants of an apartment complex does not qualify because its activities benefit the member tenants and not all tenants of the community, while an organization formed to promote the legal rights of all tenants in a particular community may qualify under Section 501c4 as a social welfare organization. An organization is not operated primarily for the promotion of social welfare if its primary activity is operating a social club for the benefit, pleasure, or recreation of its members, or is carrying on a business with the general public in a manner seeking Seeking legislation germane to the organization's programs is a permissible means of attaining social welfare purposes. Thus, a Section 501c4 social welfare organization may further its exempt purposes through lobbying as its primary activity without jeopardizing its exempt status. An organization that has lost its Section 501c3 status due to substantial attempts to influence legislation may not thereafter qualify as a C4. In addition, a 501c4 organization that engages in lobbying may be required to provide notice to its members regarding the promotion of a social is not included intervention of little women on behalf of. However, Section 501c4 social welfare organization may engage in some political activities so long as that's not its primary activity. However, any expenditure it makes for political activities may be subject to tax under Section 527F. Okay. I'm just trying to find out what do they have to file? Required filings. Type of organization is exempt. Fuck. No. Is it written on the 8976? Unless I'm missing something. I'm not saying come up when I search for here. 990 tax returns that are public info. Tax-exempt organizations, non-exempt charitable trusts, and 527 political organizations file Form 990 to provide this. Schedule B is the form used to report donors. 501c4 orgs aren't required to file. Yeah, but can you show me where it tells you who's required to file these? 501c. Like, I imagine it should say. Whoops. Pangburn is pissed right now. Live.
I mean, he knew going into that fight, he was willing.
Oh. What is a 501c4 required to file? Like, do you want a list of what types of organizations are required, or do you want to know specifically of the 16th? I just want to know what they're required to file. What is a 501c4 or 501c3 required to file publicly, that we get access to publicly? Is it literally nothing? The 990 link here. I don't know why you're just linking me this. I'm just oh Jesus Christ. It's okay. I'm okay. Calm myself. Okay. That's all good. Just here, have music. Okay. There you go. I guess I'm gonna guess it's not required to file anything. How publicly? Public disclosures. 501c4 organizations must disclose that contributions are not tax deductible in their solicitations. They are required to file. Link it to me. Show me. You should be able to show me that on the IRS website. I don't know why you're just typing in, unless you're Mr. IRS. Just link it to me on the IRS website, just so I can see it and read it. Wait. Political activity. Corporation. Okay. C4, an organization, corporation, a trust, or an unincorporated association. Search for public inspection. Control F. Public. Schedule B is open to public inspection for an organization that files Form 990-PF. Okay. 990-PF is required by for private foundations? So I'm going to for a section 7 political organization that files Form 990 or 990-EZ. The names and addresses of contributors are required to be made available to public. All other information, including the amount of contributions, the description of non-cash contributions, is required to be made available for public inspection unless it clearly identifies the contributor. If an organization files a copy of Form 990 or 990-EZ and attachments with any state, it should include its Schedule B in the attachment for the state unless they schedule the contributions for the state. Okay, let's just read the fucking forms, I guess. Form 990. On page 12. Oh, wait, hold on. If any of the following are satisfied, a section 501c3 organization met the 33 and 1/3% support test of the regulations under the 509A1 and 170B1. Contributions greater $5,000 or 2% of the former organization filing Schedule B can limit the contributors. It reports on Schedule B using the greater than 5,000 divided by 2% threshold only for checks box saying, holy shit. Instructions for Form 990 return of organization exempt from income tax. $990 and $990 are used by tax-exempt organizations. Tax-exempt is just all of the 501c filings, right? I believe that part of the code, I believe. And Section 527, political organizations, to provide the IRS the information required by Section 6033. Are 527s, are those just PACs? It's a party, committee, association, fund, or other organization. Examples include political parties, PACs, and campaign committees. Okay. An organization's completed Form 990 or 990EZ. And a Section 501c3 organization's Forms 990T, exempt organization business, income tax return are generally available for public inspection as required by Section 6104. Schedule B, Form 990, Schedule of Contributors is available for public inspection for Section 527 organizations filing Form 990 or 990EZ. Okay. So that Schedule B is the part where we would see, what, contributors? So this is the 2024, no, 2025, 2023. This is the 2023 990 from the 1630 fund. Compensation of officers, directors, trustees, key employees, highest compensated employees, and independent contractors. So this is everything that the 1630 fund, these are the compensation for these people. Statement of functional expenses. Their balance sheet. Okay. And then their Schedule B is publicly filed. They're a 501c4 for an organization filing Form 990, 990EZ, or 990PF that received during the year contributions totaling $5,000 or more from any one contributor, complete parts 1 and 2. And then they don't have to identify the person. So this is a donation, a contribution for $50 million. This is the... So why is their Schedule B public? Just because they wanted to be nice? Or what was the... Available for public inspection for Schedule B. Public inspection for Section 5, 990 or 990EZ. Okay, so these are contributors. You're required to provide the amounts to people who request it, so they include it with the public inspection copy. Or an organization's completed Form 990 or 990 EZ, any Section 501c3 organizations Form 990 exempt organizations are generally available for public inspection. Okay, Schedule B, Schedule of Contributors, is available for public inspection for Section 527 organizations filing Form 990 or 990 EZ. For other organizations that file Form 990 or 990 EZ, parts of Schedule B, Form 990, can be open to public inspection. See Appendix D, Public Inspection of Returns. Appendix D, Public Inspection of Returns. Okay, you don't have to make the addresses of contributors listed on Schedule B available for public inspection. All other information reported on Schedule B, including the amount of contributions, the description of non-cash is required to be made available for public inspection unless it clearly identifies the contributor. Form 980T. Okay. Okay. Every 501c files a 990, and then the 990B is The 990B is available for, the Schedule B, I should say, is available for public inspection. However, they don't have to be made. The contributors don't have to be made. Okay. For C3s, do they have to make the contributor names public, or? No. Wait, so what's the difference functionally here between a C3 and a C4? I think the C3 is allowed to engage in different activity. Not anymore since 2020. Okay, well, this is the Schedule B stuff. Supplemental financials. Okay, Schedule D. I don't think we care about any of that shit. 501c4 doesn't even need to file it with IRS, so no names. Can you sort? Wait, really? Why? They don't need to file a Form 990, or they don't need to file a Schedule B? Because if both of those things are true, why do these people have a Schedule B published, or why do they bother filing one? Let me use the restroom real quick. 1 sec. Oh my god. No answers? Do I just need to read the whole tax exemption part of this? Is that what I need to do? Okay. What is the question? I just want to know who has to file this 990B, the Schedule B for the 990. Who has to file that? And show me where it says it. I'm sorry, I'm not asking the question because you're just going to type random shit. I just show me in here where it says these are the people required to file the 990B. I'm just curious what that is. But apparently, I'll just read it. Fuck it. Or read it down. Form 990 is an annual information return required to be filed with the IRS by most organizations exempt from income tax under sections 501A. And certain political organizations and non-exempt charitable trusts. Parts 1 through 12 of the form must be completed by all filing organizations and require reporting on the organization's exempt and other activities, finances, governance, compliance with certain federal tax filings and requirements, and compensation paid to certain persons. Additional schedules are required to be completed depending upon the activities and type of the organization. By completing Part 4, the organization determines which schedules are required. Okay, Part 4 of your Form 990. Form 990 IRS. Part 4. Okay, if the organization described in section 501c3 or 4947A1, other than a private foundation, if yes, complete Schedule A. Is the organization described in section 501c3? Okay, so you C3 or 4947A1. Is the organization required to complete Schedule B, Schedule of Contributors, see instructions? Did the organization engage in direct or indirect political campaign activities on behalf of or in opposition to candidates for public option or for public office? If yes, complete Schedule C. For section 501c3 organizations, did the organization engage in lobbying activities or have okay. Is the organization a section 501c4, C5, or C6 organization that receives membership dues, assessments, or similar amounts as defined here? Okay. Did the organization maintain any donor-advised funds? Destiny. Click. Jesus. Every organization under section A. Okay, what about 501c? No, I think it'll be. I think I'll just read down the form. Where were we? Oh fuck! That's the only thing on Schedule B. See instructions. Aren't the instructions? Are they not normally listed in the part? Oh my god. The instructions on a separate, it's on a separate thing, isn't it? Instructions for Form 990, return of organization exempt from income tax 2025. Okay, Schedule B, Schedule of Contributors, is available for public inspection for Section 527 organizations filing a Form 990 or 990EZ. For other organizations that file Form 990 or 990EZ, parts of Schedule B can be open to public inspection. See Appendix D, Public Inspection, Terms, and the instructions for Schedule B, Form 990 for more details. This is just the same thing as the other thing, I think. Okay, so basically everybody's required, every 501 whatever is required to file this, and then the 990B, the Schedule B contributors aren't fully available because you don't have to include the name or address of the people, but just the contributions? Okay. Must disclose contributions on a Schedule B, but can redact the names, addresses of the contributors. Five instructions. Fuck. Okay. Fuck off, Mooten. The 1630 fund. How is this structured? About us. Okay, this is a 501c4. Under the U.S. tax code, which the nonprofit projects we sponsor, the flexibility they need, adequate for the change they are trying to make in the world. Donations to the 1630 fund are not tax deductible. Okay. And then they have this is their 2024 Form 990. So we should be able to see individual donations made to them on their Schedule B. I don't know if it says Schedule B or just Sched B or whatever. However, it won't show the names of the people and the addresses. Yes, okay, so we saw this before. Okay. So this is their 2024 Form 990. Okay. Okay, and then what was Chorus's like official designation? Chorus. About. Is a creator-led nonprofit, so some 501c something. Okay, so so Chorus is another 501c4. Which means they should also have a Form 990 we can find, right? Chorus, Form 990. Designated as a 501c3. Were they a C3? Wait, Chorus America. This is not the same thing, I don't think. Wait, is it? Collaborative for members in both management and artistic roles. Wait, no, this is Chorus America. Did they change their designation? Let us see. Because I think on that Schedule B, I think it lists it at the beginning. Okay, so they were a 50c3. This is in 2021. Initially. I wonder if they have to list their 990 somewhere. Oh, yeah, because it says right here, they're a nonpartisan nonprofit advocacy organization. What are the filing deadlines on this stuff? Should their 2025 filing be available yet? Chorus Form 990 2024. Here's a 2023 return of organization. Oh, Chorus America. Oh. Wait, what were they? All their 990s are on here, right? Oh, true. Actually, wait, hold on. This is when they were still organized as a C3, though. View filing. Form 990. This is their 2023 for filing for fiscal year ending August 2024. Since they were created December 2024, their 2025 tax filings will only be billed later in 2026. What do you mean they were created? Like they were reorganized as a C4 because they were prior to this a C3, or? I don't know what you mean created December 2024. What is all this? You mean, okay. They were reorganized as a C4. Reorganized in 2023 from a C3. So we could say this is their 2023 Form 990. Why do we have we've got the 2024 public disclosure for the 1630 fund. We just don't have the 2024 one for Chorus yet. That's not the right one. No, that's not them. Wait, what's not them? Strengthen singing communities. Oh, wait, what the fuck? This isn't even the... Wait, hold on. This is not... If it's open to public inspection, shouldn't this be hosted on the IRS's website? Chorus America is an organization with actual choruses or choirs. Okay. Chorus didn't start accepting anything until 2025. Arts, culture. Okay, so this is all not. This is not related to any of this. Okay. Okay, forget all of this then. Never mind. Hold on. We just say they're a 501c4. Hotch is cooking your boy at the moment. Cooking which boy? So no filings available yet. Okay. So what exactly is the 1630 fund connection to Chorus? Or how do we know? Does this show? Hop in voice chat real quick. Tom, if you don't have links or whatever, then nothing you say is going to help me. Just give me links to IRS shit. I'd rather that than people's interpretations of the tax code. I just need links to shit. That's all I want. They also don't have to disclose funding while they are designated as a fiscal sponsor. Just... I promise it's important. Oh, God. All right, what do you want? Hello, hello?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, hello, hello?
Okay, I hear you now. Okay, what the last person said is really important. The 1630 is just a fiscal sponsor.
Show me that. Where is that show? Where is that listed at?
I don't know where it's listed.
Okay, then I don't care about that. Go on to the next thing.
Tyler Cohen says it in his video.
Okay.
And then there's also lawyers for people who
go on to the next thing. Go to the next thing. What's the next point? I just need to see it somewhere.
I don't. Yeah. So if you go to 1630's website,
Yes.
they talk about the fact that that is their role that they play. Just go to the About Us, and it explains that they're a fiscal sponsor and that they just help smaller organizations start up, but that they don't pay them. They don't pay like Chorus. They don't pay Chorus members. That's not what they do. So they're not like the way that Taylor makes it sound like they fund them. They don't fund them. They're just a fiscal sponsor.
What is Okay, hold on. How do we know that the 1630 fund has given money or has funded Chorus?
They haven't. Again, they don't fund Chorus.
Or that they're a fiscal sponsor of Chorus.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know that there's anything until Chorus actually like files their 990s, which they might even file a 990 PF, but they haven't filed anything yet. So there's not really a way for us to look at it on like actual tax filings.
Okay. What was the name of Taylor Lorenz's article?
Dark money group.
Secretly funding. Okay.
Yeah. I think her evidence in her article was that because 1630 is on the paychecks, that to her meant that they were funding Chorus, but that just means that they're the fiscal sponsor.
Oh, hold on. Wait, why does this page look different than this page? Wait, what the fuck? Oh, I'm so fucking confused. This says, who funds Chorus? Chorus is honored to have received support from nearly 7,000 individuals in its first year of operation. As a Section 501c4 nonprofit program, Chorus implements all programs in full compliance. The effort is also gathered aggressive over 5,000 installations. It is currently fiscally sponsored by the 1630 Fund. Why is this website different?
Let you stream back up.
Join versus about pages. Jesus fuck. Why? Okay, that's annoying as fuck. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Oh, so they've like updated one of these. Oh, but it just says two different. Oh my fucking God. Okay. And is currently fiscally sponsored by the 1630 Fund. Okay.
And then I also sent you the 1630 page where they just talk about like being a fiscal sponsor for people, but it pretty much means that they like Chorus pays 1630, not that 1630 funds Chorus. Chorus pays 1630 to do their admin work, and that gives Chorus 1630's 501c4 like umbrella category, so that now Chorus can be filed as a 501c4 because 1630 is fiscally sponsoring them.
What does that mean? So does 1630 provide just services for free basically, or what does it mean to fiscally sponsor
Yeah, pretty
something?
much, not for free. Like, so Chorus, like the 1630 will take a cut of things. So like if I want to donate to Chorus, I go and I donate, but it goes through 1630 so that it's going through a 501c4, and then they give the money to Chorus. Chorus pays them to do this like admin work. Then 1630 also gives them like they get their legal advice and other things like that. But then when Chorus wants to pay all the content creators who are part of Chorus, then 1630 pays those creators. So again, all of it ends up going through 1630 so that they get the 501c4 status.
Why do you say that? So they get the 501c4 status. Connect that for me.
That's what a fiscal sponsor is. Like a fiscal sponsor is like somebody who does the admin work for you so that you're able to get the 501c4 status. So like all of it goes
Why would you get the 501c4? What does that mean? What do you mean by just connect that?
I don't understand like the exact legal aspect of it. but that's just what a fiscal sponsor is. So like I sent you the page on 1630 that kind of explains like what they do as a fiscal sponsor, and then that helps other organizations get their 501c4 status.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Like they don't fund Chorus.
Wait, that's kind
They're
of a
just
big deal
fiscal
then.
sponsor.
Wait, is that true? So this means
It's a
that
massive deal.
So this means that, because it's saying here, so like other fiscal sponsors, the 1630 fund is not the original source of funding for the projects it incubates. When a foundation or funder makes a donation to support a project, the fiscal sponsor receives the donation on behalf of the project. 1630 fund follows all local, state, and federal law with respect to the disclosure of individual donors. Okay. So the money, so when I go to donate, basically then, so if I want to donate to Chorus, what do they have a donation thing right the fuck on the front? Donate. They do. Okay. So if I want to donate to Chorus, this money is going to flow through the 1630 fund, and then they will allocate that back to Chorus, and then they'll take some percentage here for basically payment processing.
Correct.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, geez. Okay. I get that.
Yeah, so Taylor's entire article is about the fact that 1630 funds Chorus, and she even says in your conversation over and over that she doesn't call Chorus a dark money group, that Chorus is not dark money, that only 1630 is dark money, and that all the content creators, even though they did disclose that they work for Chorus and that they're getting paid by Chorus, the problem is they didn't disclose that they're getting paid by 1630, but they're not getting paid by 1630. They're not funded by 1630.
I understand. Why, so wait, what is her definition of dark money? Do you know?
It's a 501c4 or some group that doesn't disclose where their money comes from that engages in political action.
Okay, can you explain this to me? Because it looks like 501c4s all have to print like a publicly accessible Form 990 with a Schedule B attached. So, but you don't have to include the names or the addresses of people that donate, but you do have to include donations, like contributions.
Yeah, so who you donate to, but not who donates to you.
Well, but I don't understand that, because it feels like, can you give me an example of an organization like that? Because it feels like 501c4s all have to file 990s with attached Schedule Bs.
Yeah, they have to report it to the IRS. They just
but they're
don't have to
publicly
disclose it
viewable,
publicly.
those Schedule Bs. That's my understanding so far.
Yes, but the
Schedule
so like
Bs are the things that show who's contributing money to you. Well, so like the Schedule Bs for these 501c4s, so like I'm looking at the 1630 fund, I can see the people who have contributed to them on their Schedule B, but it doesn't have the name, address, and zip code, so they can redact that part.
Yes. Just like you remember when Progressive Victory accidentally doxed everybody because they accidentally put all that information in there, but it wasn't supposed to be on the public form. It was only supposed to be on the IRS form.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. Wait, so is this is the dark, so was it just this then? So it's dark money because we just don't know the names of the people that contribute money to a 501c4? That's it? And it can be in unlimited amount okay. Huh. That's pretty...
Which is why she kept saying that Omidyar isn't dark money, because we know that Pierre Omidyar and his wife Pam Omidyar are the only contributors to Democracy Fund Voice, which is who she gets her stipend through.
I'll check that out next, but I don't know if I understand that yet, because what her organization is, none of those filings are public at all, right?
So that organization, Democracy Fund Voice, those are not public. They do file 990s and 990 PFs, but they get their money from Democracy Fund. So Democracy Fund donates to Democracy Fund Voice. Democracy Fund does.
Well, here, wait, hold on. Before I get buried in that,
publicly.
I'll get to that. I'll do that, and I'll probably get there in like 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I love you. Be careful.
All right. Later.
Okay, so the 1630 fund works as they work as a fiscal sponsor for Chorus. meaning they do administrative, it sounds like they do administrative work and process payments for them while collecting some, I imagine, a small percentage as fees. They do not contribute money directly to Chorus from themselves, like this. And apparently Brian talks about this here.
At the risk of giving an internet troll more attention, I want to address a piece that Taylor Lorenz wrote yesterday for Wired. An initiative aimed at boosting Democrats online offers influencers up to $8,000 a month to push the party line. All they have to do is keep it secret and agree to restrictions on their content. Literally nothing in this statement is true. The article is about Chorus, which is a nonprofit that I helped found to build up our creator ecosystem, which everybody says they want, but few are doing. So here's what Chorus is. It is a scholarship program to teach creators how to grow their accounts, foster engagement, launch their own shows, and become profitable on their own. It's an incubator program to build the pro-democracy ecosystem. Influencers and creators have never been more important when it comes to how Americans are consuming their news. The right has been doing this for years, and the left needs to catch up. That's why we're doing this with Chorus. So let's talk about what Chorus is and what it's not. Chorus does not pay creators for content, does not tell them what to say, it does not control who they talk to or work with, and there is absolutely nothing in the contract that could even be reasonably interpreted to say that we do. Period. Full stop. I don't know a single creator who would willfully sign up for a program that would tell them what they can or can't say. That's not what this program is. We pay people to show up to workshops and technical trainings to optimize their content online. For example, we've got trainings on how to package content for YouTube, trainings on how to optimize audience retention for Instagram and TikTok, trainings on how to form an LLC. Again, there are zero restrictions on their content. And by the way, the program works. In just 2 months, our cohort has added a combined 6 million followers, that's not including me, and seen their views and engagement grow. That is the point of the program, to teach creators how to be effective with whatever messages they want to promote. And with regard to keeping it a secret, there is a standard confidentiality clause in the contract to protect the privacy of the creators. On the literal first day of the program, it was made clear to all of the creators in our kickoff session that they were absolutely free to talk about Chorus. And we immediately followed up to confirm that in writing. Creators have videos about Chorus. They've got donation links to Chorus in their bios. I myself have made videos that were posted all over the internet about Chorus that reached hundreds of thousands of people. It is not a secret, and it never was. There's the implication in the article that this is some arm of the DNC or the Democratic Party. We have literally nothing to do with the DNC. I spend 0 minutes of my day thinking about the DNC. The creators do not toe any party line. How could we? There isn't a party line. Creators are absolutely allowed to speak out against the Democrats, and in fact, plenty do. And frankly, Chorus creators should and do criticize Democrats when they suck, and quite often, they do suck. I've seen posts saying that this is APAC funded, which couldn't be further from the truth. I'd venture to guess that most Chorus creators, myself included on both YouTube and Substack, have spoken out against the atrocities in Gaza. Lorenz says that the 1630 Fund is, quote, a powerful liberal dark money group. 1630 Fund is our fiscal sponsor. One of the largest documented donors to 1630 Fund is the same person funding Omidyar's Reporters in Residence program, which Taylor Lorenz herself is a part of. And guess what her monthly stipend is? $8,000 per month. So she's criticizing an entity that is funded by someone that she is currently taking.
Why doesn't he talk about what the fiscal sponsor thing means? I don't know why he wouldn't say that. And I don't know if I trust Tom. I don't know why he wouldn't explain what a fiscal sponsor is. That's pretty huge to not explain that. Because I think my assumption, even until right now, was that the 1630 Fund contributed. Actually, I thought all of it to Chorus. I think Taylor even said that 2 days ago when we were chatting. Maybe he talks about it in a second. I don't know.
Money from. I guess it's okay when Taylor Lorenz gets paid, but no one else. The monthly stipend that we offer is so that creators can do this work full time. We've had numerous creators in the cohort quit their jobs so that they can focus on creating content full time. That is what we want. I'm really proud that we can give creators that security for as long as they're in the program. We want people to create pro-democracy content full time. And we want to make sure that they can afford to pay their rent and their bills while doing it. If I could have cohorts with 1,000 people in it so that everybody could be part of the program, I would. For everybody saying that they would like to be part of the next cohort, we would love for you to apply. That's our whole goal. It's to build up an army of pro-democracy content creators who can speak authentically about the issues that they care about and be able to do it as effectively as possible. I should note that while I started this program, I have never and will never get paid. I do this 100% as a volunteer volunteer. I've never earned a dime from Chorus, and I never will. I want every dollar that we raise to go to creators so that they can do this important work without spending 8 hours a day working at some different job. I've been saying for years that the left needs to build up its creator space. That has never been more true than it is right now. Influencers and creators have never been more important when it comes to how Americans are consuming their news. The left is a decade behind right now. We desperately need incubators teaching and amplifying new content creators, and not just Chorus, by the way. There are other programs in this space doing the same thing. I want all of them to succeed. We need all of them to succeed. There are people like Taylor Lorenz who are desperate to tear the left apart, and in fact, it becomes clear who her efforts help when you hear stuff like this.
Genuinely, I kind of like Taylor Lorenz because I know that she actually believes what she says. At the end of the day,
So yeah, I generally don't align myself with friends of Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. I continue to believe that the left needs massive investments into the independent media space. I'm really proud of the program that we built. I'm really proud that we've allowed creators to do this work full time. I'm really proud of the independence that they have to say whatever they want to say in whatever way they want to say it. I'm really proud that our creators are seeing their channels and their pages grow. My goal is to see an army emerge from the left to take on what's happening on the right. Taylor Lorenz and Republicans don't.
Okay. Why? What a missed. I don't think I've ever heard this explanation before. Just random notes, I guess. Thinking about fiscal sponsorship, purpose, and politics. Fiscal sponsorship is an arrangement through which a group that doesn't have its own tax-exempt status from the IRS can operate as a project of a nonprofit that does. It offers several advantages for smaller or newer organizations, allowing them to pursue their tax-exempt mission in ways they might not otherwise be able to. At the same time, there are virtually no public disclosure requirements for fiscal sponsorships, particularly with respect to those projects that are active on political or public policy issues. Fiscal sponsorship could be considered a form of dark money. Fiscal sponsorship reform should initially focus on enhancing transparency, which often involve updates to the IRS Form 990. When he says, particularly with, okay, at the time there are virtually no public disclosure requirements for fiscal sponsorship. What does that mean? Because aren't there? What are the Form 990 things? Is that not, or is it just because there's a redaction on the name and address? Fiscal sponsorship is a convenient way for new and or small groups to reduce the time and expense required to begin pursuing their tax-exempt mission, as well as to lessen administrative burdens that they may be ill-equipped to handle on their own. Operating as a project of an established nonprofit is an arrangement that can make sense for many such organizations. On the surface, fiscally sponsored projects can look and act as like independent nonprofits, some weigh in on controversial socio-political issues, unlike standalone nonprofits. However, fiscally sponsored projects are subject to virtually no transparency requirements to offset the tax advantages they enjoy. Fiscal sponsorship reform should focus on enhancing Does this mean that maybe it means so like Chorus right now is organized as a 501c4 on its own, but it doesn't need to be? It could just be a project of the 1630 fund and it doesn't actually need to be independently organized like that? I think. It's in full compliance with you. Because it sounds like what you do. Okay, I feel like I understand this a little bit more. If I were to go to a fiscal sponsor and I want to start the DGG recruitment drive program or something, I could just start as like under their wing basically, and they could be my fiscal sponsor for my little project as part of them. But if you're going to go ahead and form your whole own 501c4, I don't understand what the point is of using somebody else as a fiscal sponsor. What would be the point of that? Wait, about and join. Holy shit. Okay, if we donate, go, Chorus, donate. Who are we donating to? Let's check, hold on. Donate one time. Pay with card. I don't get any more information on this page. Merchant record of transactions, your contribution organization will cause that you've selected on the contribution from within 30 days. Okay, whatever. Okay, that's not going to give us any more info. Yeah, it could be that Chorus started off as like a thing from the 1630 fund so that they could start taking donations faster, and then they've sought their own 501c4 status, and now they've gotten it. Maybe. So that now they can break off from them. Maybe next year. Maybe. Let's see. Any contributions or grants made to the project only made to the fiscal sponsor, which earmarks and disperses the money for the project's activities. Fiscal sponsors generally charge a fee for their services, which commonly ranges between 5 and 10% of the project's revenue. The contractual nature of the relationship means that the specifics of any fiscal sponsorship can vary, though there are two primary models. I wonder if, actually, can somebody get me a donation button? If I donated to this website, if I looked this up like a year ago, would it take me to this page, or did it take you to a different page last year? No, still chorus-1. Okay, that's the oldest one. Maybe maybe they always have a static link or whatever. Could the 1630 fund be allocating money to Chorus and us not know about it? Because it wouldn't have to be publicly reported. I guess it would show up on their 990 form. It would show up on their 990 form as a big anonymous donor then, I guess, huh? The Form 990 black hole. Jesus. Select surrounding fiscal sponsorships. It is necessary to understand IRS Form 990. This is the annual return that most nonprofits are required to file with the IRS, and it provides considerable details about the filings. It's generally the most comprehensive source of information about a given tax-exempt organization's operations and budgets. Most nonprofits file the standard Form 990 or a similar variant called the 990EZ, while private foundations file the substantially different Form 990PF. Although they are released on a somewhat delayed timetable, Form 990s are available to the public. 990 typically contains almost no information about fiscal sponsorship. Sponsors are not required to report on their fiscal sponsorship activities or disclose any details about their projects. While the projects themselves do not file their own forms because they do not have their own tax-exempt status, some nonprofits occasionally provide limited information about their fiscal sponsorship activities on Form 990, while others, such as Tides, list their projects online, but such ad hoc disclosures are neither required, comprehensive, nor particularly detailed. So opacity can also extend to grant makers, which might only report grants as having been made to a fiscal sponsor without disclosing if the money was earmarked for a specific project, for example, 2022. This okay. Okay, so you could spin up a project. Hold on the Form 990, do they report how they, is there a schedule where they report how they spend their money? Schedule. I feel like there was a contributions thing, but ooh, that was retarded to type. Oh. Page 10 of the 990. Statement of revenue. This is the money that they make. Statement of expenses. This is the money that they spend. Wait, you said page 10? Did you mean page 11? Functional expense shows how they spend their funds. Okay. Let's see. Fees for services. This is how much they pay in fees, I think. How much money they spend lobbying, right? So they spent 31 million lobbying. Investment management fees, whatever that is, other. Royalties, travel. Is there a separate schedule that reports any of this in more detail or no? So let's see. If I want C3 and C4, I must complete all columns. All other organizations must complete column A. Check if Schedule O contains a response or note to any line in this part 9. Do not include amounts reported on lines 6B, 7. Okay, so what? I'm looking just to see what Schedule O says. Whoops. I don't know if this actually matters or not. Oh, hold on. What is that? Oh, no. Okay, schedule of, no. This is just supplemental information. Contributions. Part 8, line 1H. Page 4 of the PDF will show what was accomplished, how much was each accomplishment, and how much money was got. Okay. Okay, so C4s or whatever, on this 990 then, you're reporting where you're spending, you're reporting your expenses, but you're not reporting who you're sending the money to. Why do I feel like we looked at a whole thing before with where money was sent to? Which form was that? Am I crazy? If it's structured as a grant, it would be Schedule I. grants and other assistance to organizations, governments, and individuals in the United States. Ah, okay. Okay, so Schedule I is if they were giving grants to people, it would show up here. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Jesus. All right. Is this relevant to what we were looking at?
Where's this? Thinking about fiscal sponsorship.
Oh, he was looking at the same website I am.
Do not. Recording.
Okay. 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 Okay, so Chorus. Okay, so if we're summarizing this, Chorus started off as an incubator program for the 1630 Fund, meaning the 1630 Fund is a company that's organized as a 501c4 that serves as fiscal sponsors to give newly hatched ideas the umbrella of their C4 status while those programs incubate and eventually gather, I guess, enough success or clout or whatever the fuck to go and form their own C4. So they process payments and everything for Chorus, but they shouldn't be giving any money to Chorus aside from, or nothing. They just pass through whatever people would donate to Chorus on its own. So the only thing the 1630 Fund should be doing theoretically, unless they're either breaking the law or unless they're doing something that I'm not understanding, they shouldn't be donating any money to Chorus directly. They're just handling initially administrative burden and work and then transferring money donated from the 1630 Fund to Chorus, essentially. So if you donate to Chorus, the 1630 Fund receives it. I imagine it's earmarked for Chorus. Do you think is that like a requirement? Could they theoretically just collect money, donations for an incubator program and then just steal it? I imagine they might have like internal contracts or something that would hopefully prevent that. Okay. Okay. Is this... So when we say a dark money group is secretly funding high profile... Now I kind of reread this article again. So a dark money group is secretly funding high profile Democratic influencers. Is that referring to Chorus? Or is that referring to just the entire 1630 Fund? Let's see. They're being offered $8,000 per month to take part in a secretive program aimed at bolstering Democratic messaging on the internet, but the contract sent to them from Chorus, the nonprofit arm of a liberal influencer marketing platform. What does that mean? Liberal influencer marketing platform. Is this supposed to be like a company? Is it referring to the 1630 Fund or... She said in your convo that Chorus isn't dark money. Can you link me the timestamp in the convo where she said that? Came with some strings, among other issues that mandated extensive secrecy about disclosing their payments. And had restrictions on what sort of political content the creators could produce. Should we send a joint email? Or are we just going to send... Now, Democrats hope that the secretive Chorus Creator Incubator Program, funded by a powerful liberal dark money group called the 1630 Fund, might tip the scales. Okay, so this is functionally impossible, right? Because if the 1630 fund was actually giving money to Chorus, then that should show up in it should show up in the Schedule I. That's what we were saying, right? Where we look at grants, basically. But assuming nobody's lying or breaking the law, if they're only a fiscal sponsor, and obviously we don't see Chorus. Oh, wait. Actually, I guess they could be, but we don't have that filing yet. Maybe in the 2024 or 2025 filing. But they literally say they are, they say they're a fiscal sponsor. I guess they could just be lying to the public about it, and then the filings would show something different. Funded by a powerful liberal dark money group called the 1630 Fund. The program kicked off last month. Creators involved were told by Chorus they'd be kicked down to such a cutoff financially they even so much as acknowledged they were part of the program. Communication about the program and in some cases an onboarding session for those. Fuck, hold on. Let me get my sandwich. Eat fresh time, baby. I actually got a copy of this contract too, which I'm curious to go through. It's pretty short. It's like 9 pages. I wonder if any of this is true. That they're not allowed to disclose that they're part of it or whatever, but I'll check that in a bit. Hold on. How do we know they're an organization and not just a brand? I can't find any of its trading. I mean, they say on the bottom of their site that they're a 501c4 organized thing. So, I mean, unless they're literally lying about that. Somebody listed their EIN, I think, in chat earlier as well. Charity Navigator. 1630 Fund. Yeah, I was looking for a chorus. Not publicize. Let's see. Confidentiality. I don't see that confidentiality thing in this, unless they're misreading the under definitions or whatever. I don't know if these contracts are like actually uniquely different per person, so I don't want to risk like burning my contact on this, but I see we have, so there's a confidentiality clause. It lists out definitions. That is all seems boilerplate and standard to me. Proprietary information or trade secrets. No proprietary or sensitive information for either disclosing party. That one schizo deleted his YouTube. The thing I just looked at? Really? This person took bigger quotes from the supposedly low-tier version of the contract. It's an Instagram slideshow. Did we look at that? I feel we looked at this a long time ago. Okay. My biggest concern about the chorus draft contract I saw is the non-disparagement clause. Let me find. Fuck. This one doesn't have a non-disparagement clause. I don't think. Unless it's listed under a different thing. Hold on. Is it? Wait, does she quote? Oh. Let's see. Non-disparagement. I don't know what the date that this contract was issued. Oh, wait. Actually, hold on. Subject to the terms of blah, blah, blah. You are free to publicly disclose your own role with Chorus or the nature of the program if you choose to do so. I mean, that seems pretty standard. Non-disparagement clause. I don't see an NDC in this. Am I missing something? I wonder, oh, this one was issued, I think, after Taylor's article came out. Maybe it could have been changed maybe as well, although I don't know. Did you have a great answer for her post hoc distinction between political journalistic purpose and the funding? Putting aside the dark money label didn't require political intent. Probably going to hash something out. Well, no, I think she retreated to that line afterwards because she felt like she couldn't defend her argument. If she thinks there's a huge difference in reporting requirements or whatever, or there's a huge difference in taking something as a journalist versus an influencer, that's fine. But then don't try to say that the two things are different. Or initially she was saying, yeah, she was saying that things were different. But then it sounded like she was retreating to that argument, saying that it was that that it was actually the same, but it shouldn't. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm reading something at the same time. I don't care. Suck my dick. Huh. Well. Oh my fucking God. I can't click the... Okay. Okay, we've read this. This is an older thing. The Federal Election Commission declined to comment. Taylor saying chorus, it's in dark money. Let's see if we can make sense of what she's saying.
You're saying that they're
Shut up,
that
loser.
Chorus and all these people are all dark money groups.
No, I never said Chorus was a dark money group. I said that they've received funding and they are described as a project of a dark money group.
Okay, so then the program that you're a part of would be a project of...
Okay. I can't tell if she knows the underlying structures of these things and she's trying to speak very carefully to avoid saying anything legally incorrect, or if she's just like saying simple things and I can't tell. I have no idea. Because you could say chorus isn't a dark money thing, but I mean now it's organized as a C4. So I mean, but also they weren't receiving money from the 1630 fund. If I understand the fiscal sponsorship thing correctly as well. Holy shit. That some of this article is so fucking retarded. The influencers offered the funding were given just days to sign the contract. Or what? They kill their family? What does that mean? That's the dark part of fiscal sponsorship, though. Since they don't have to do their own filings, who knows what part of the 1630 fund Chorus is actually receiving? Well, it sounds like if it's fiscal sponsorship, they can't be giving money to Chorus because that would have to show up under the grants section. If it's a fiscal sponsorship and Chorus doesn't have to show up on filings, the only way that's possible is if the 1630 fund just funnels money to Chorus by doing, if you donate to Chorus, it's the 1630 fund is what receives that money and then they earmark it for Chorus basically, right? Like they shouldn't be able to funnel additional money to Chorus without that showing up on some other filing, I believe. Okay. I feel like I understand about 70% of this. I need to revisit the Omidyar Network. Okay. What do we have? It's a venture of the Omidyar Group. Okay. Omidyar Group. One of the benefits bring away from a 501c4 is that C4s can't give tax write-off since it's political. Of course, it's educational, so they got the C3 approval and give tax write-off to donors. What? Show that. I don't think you're right. They're organized as a C4, not a C3. Of course. Oh, thank you, dumbass. That's the guy's name. IRS filings? Status? Question mark? Whatever the fuck this website is. Okay. About. Jesus fucking Christ. Our work? Home. About. Who funds us? What is our organization? The Omidyar Group is a collection of mission-driven, independent organizations. Okay. Reporters and residents. Program, okay. Also, just as a reiterator thing, I don't even, dark money as a concept is not something I care much about. I don't even know 100% what people mean when they're using this term. When I was attacking Taylor over this Omidyar Network thing, it's not to say that the Omidyar Network is inherently bad or evil. I don't know anything about the donor things for these people. It's just that I felt like her definition of dark money would apply equally to her, because I think she's paid out of an LLC that doesn't have to do any public filings, was my point. Some people are, because I see some people posting if like Omidyar is like evil or something. Reporters and Residents program is designed to, okay, enable a group of freelance journalists to devote more time to deep, nuanced reporting that drives national conversations and informs policy debates. Omidyar Network is a philanthropic organization whose mission is to bend the arc of the digital revolution towards shared power, prosperity, and possibility. Digital technology is a blah, 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 blah. Jesus, okay. Well, let's read Lay subreddit poster. I don't think C3s are ever dark money, because I think a C3 always has to report, I believe they're individual contributors, because it's all tax exempt, right? Like I think if I donate to a 501c3, I think they'll cut me a tax exempt, or they'll cut me like a tax receipt. And because of that thing, that type of tax exemption, they have to report publicly who donates to them, because these people are getting tax exemption for their donation, right? Oh wait, private foundations have to, but charities do not have to. Really? Okay. Jesus fuck. It's made. It proves money is going from the LLC to the foundation. What? Foundation employs this as a basis to allocate pro rata portion of operating expenses as a gift to the foundation. The allocated amount may fluctuate significantly as the pro rata portion changes from year to year. For the year ending December 31st, 2021, support and related expenses by affiliated entities total $22 million. For the year ending December 31st, support and related... Okay, in 2020, the foundation received a stock donation of a mission-related investment valued at $1.16 million from the Omidyar Network Fund, LLC, a related party. On January 1st, 2020, program and mission-related investments valued at $3.99 million related to the foundation's governance and citizens engagement on January 1st, 2020. Grants payable in the amount of $9.3 million, along with 21 additional. Okay. For fiscal year ending in December of 2020, this is the Form 990, the Schedule B of the Omidyar Network Fund, Incorporated. So they file as a 501c something. This is their Schedule B. Their filing is a C3. Okay, so then this is their Schedule B. And because it's a C3, I think they have to give, they can't redact anything. So we see that this Omidyar Network Fund, Inc. Is this what pays the residents in journalist program or whatever? Holy fuck! Is there a way I can see this? Okay, the Omidyar Network Fund, Inc. is a private foundation which does in fact have to disclose the contributions to the public as can be seen here. Public disclosures and available. Oh yes, we've done this research. If you open the filings and check the first page. Okay, so this is a private foundation, not a charitable thing. So private foundation means they do have to report. So this is a 501c3 private foundation. So they're filing a 990 PF. Okay, and then here's the C3 checkbox. Okay. Yes. Full filing for fiscal year. Okay. PF. Okay. Her residency is under Democracy Fund Voice. I don't know what that sentence means. Her resident. Oh, like the residence in. Okay, I don't know where that's going to be, but we'll look that up. Good one. Oh, this. Democracy Fund Voice, Inc. This is... What is this reporting here? Okay. That's okay. Stop, and stop. Okay. If Okay. Go back a year where the fund actually did have contributions, such as 2020. Notable sources of revenue, contributions received, $1.16 million. Oh. This contribution here to this fund came from wait. Fiscal year ending in 2020. It should be listed on this thing here, right? Yes. Wait. They filed a Form 990 and a Form 990 PF? Or is this just always going to be the same Schedule B? Never mind. This should be the same shit, I think. This will be, yes, okay. Does this not have the schedules on it? No, it doesn't. Sorry. Okay. So we would have to go look in the Schedule B right here. Okay. So we would see that this private foundation received $1.16 million in contributions. This was a stock transfer. And the stock transfer came from this trust, which is which one is the trust again? Is that the LLC? Hold on. Okay, the part originally, this part normally name address, no, it's not the case. It's a private foundation. They need to publicly disclose. The fund received contributions to anyone but the trade going through multiple forms for the years, and I've not been able to find indication. Here, Omidyar Trust, going back over the VOD using Lorenz reaction. Money going out of the foundation, not related to money coming in. The money coming in is listed. Fine. Received a grant. The Omidyar Network does a tricky thing. We're grant the positions for this fellowship are actually contracting 1099 positions. Okay. And LLC. Fuck. Okay, what is the Omidyar Trust? Is that the LLC? Like, what is this thing? Sorry. Shh. Okay. It's not the LLC. It funded the LLC. Okay, stop. Let's back up. Okay. Reporters in residence. Let's find this. The start of this thing. Can I find the Oh, actually, you know what? I bet she sent me this. Okay, our reporters in residence program, that's this. Maintains complete editorial independence and work. This commitment, okay. Omidyar Network receives no funding for the Reporters in Residence program via the 630 Fund or any other outside sources. Our programmatic work is supported entirely via our foundation and LLC. So, what is the foundation and what is the LLC? This is actual fucking AIDS cancer. You can think of the trust as investments. I know what a trust is, but show me tax filings. Give me. I need tax filings. So this, the foundation and the LLC. So here we have a private foundation. This is the foundation. I'm assuming that's what this means. This foundation is called the Omidyar Network Fund. What is the... Okay, wait. And then this is a C3. So that means they have to disclose the money that they receive and the money that they donate out, right? So this we would consider this thing to be a not dark money thing, I believe, right? But then the... wait. This is the Omidyar Fund. What is the LLC? That's what I'm not understanding. Via our foundation and LLC. Oh, or is this just referring to the same entity? Our programmatic work is supported entirely via our foundation and LLC. Like, this isn't referring to two things. It's like saying... It's dark money because it receives money from the LLC through the trust. Wait, but I thought the LLC and the trust were the same thing. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. I just need you to not type in chat and to just link tax forms. If you're going to say something, just link tax forms. So I have this. This is the fund, the Omidyar Network Fund. Which is our C3. Let me put this out here. Look at the proof provided that the LLC donated to the trust. Well, I have this here. But what is this trust? Shouldn't there be like an EIN or something attached to this? Name, address, and zip +4. Isn't it weird that... Shouldn't there be some kind of tax information? It was in the Reddit post. From the Omidyar Network Fund LLC, a related party. Okay, I'm just going to read this down from top to bottom. Okay. If the program is funded by the LLC, then it won't be listed. It appears that's where the stipends come from if they are under 50K. Okay, TLDR. We do not know and cannot know if Taylor received dark money unless Taylor herself clarifies whether she received the money from the foundation, non-dark money, because the foundation is a C3, right? Which we can see, technically we can see everything going in and out of the C3. Cannot know if Taylor received dark money unless Taylor herself clarifies whether she received the money from the foundation or from the LLC. I still don't know what the LLC is referring to, but maybe this person will say, if she wants to keep stuff being called dark money funding, she is free to publish evidence from her that she received the money for the fellowship of the Omidyar Network Foundation. Someone has provided a financial audit the Omidyar has made that proves the money is going from the LLC to the foundation. This foundation support organizations that create opportunities for people to improve their lives, thereby catalyzing economic social change. It started 2015. Foundation formed a wholly owned subsidiary, ONFI Brazil LLC, to facilitate activities in Brazil. Is this the LLC? Or third blurb under basis of accounting. Wow, how much tier 5 protection do we get? There we go. Third blurb under basis of accounting. Wait, basis of accounting. Contributions are recognized at fair value in the period received. The foundation has been funded through contributions received from the Pierre M. Omidyar Trust, the trust, a related party. The foundation has also received contributions in the form of donated stock from the Omidyar Network Fund LLC, a related party. Whew, Jesus Christ. Okay, so the trust and the fund are two different things that give money to the foundation, which is a 501c3, right? I shouldn't call this the fund then. I should call this but they call it the fund. Bro, this is actual AIDS fucking cancer. The foundation has been funded through contributions received from Pierre M. Omidyar Trust, the trust. So this here is the network fund, but the network fund is a private foundation, so they're calling the fund a foundation. The foundation also receives contributions in the form of donated stock from Omidyar Network Fund LLC, a related party. Okay, so this is just a different thing. So the foundation is a 501c3, and it gets money from the Omidyar Network Fund LLC and from the Pierre M. Omidyar Trust. Okay. I decrease the net zone restrictions. Let's use restricted. Okay. Are you going to do a recap for the people who didn't pay attention? Yeah, maybe when I finish this. Jesus. Okay. Made that proves money's going from the LLC to the foundation. And then these two links are... Wait, let me real quick. They're 990 PF 2024. Okay. And then this is the... For 2020, I guess I can throw this on here as well. Fuck it. Fuck. 2020, 990 PF. And 2024, 990 PF. Okay. This feels like it's trying to intentionally obfuscate. No, it's there are different tax reasons why you have different things set up for different reasons. I'm sure there's a good reason why. Or I would assume so, I guess. Okay. Okay. Omidyar's made that proves the money's going from the LLC to the foundation. Okay. But we already know that because they themselves say that the money is going... A stock donation of a mission-related investment valued at $1.163 million from the Omidyar Network Fund LLC. Okay, we still don't know what that thing is, but we'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to it. Hold on. Despite them claiming the funds originate in the LLC, the IRS form shows the money is listed as coming from the trust. Oh, I'm going to assume they just fucked this up. I doubt they're lying intentionally, considering this is literally their own audit that's being published here. But they probably just fucked it up or they're confused. So they claimed that this stock donation came from Omidyar Network Fund, but it actually came from the trust. They just messed it up. Jesus fuck. Okay. Okay, and we know this for sure because on their audit, they say in their audit that they received $1.163 million in 2020. And we can look at the form 990 PF, and then we can go to the Schedule B to see the contributors, and then we can Control F trust. Oh, thank God. Okay, and then it's here, and this is the 1.163 million that came from his trust. Okay, all right. Thus, the money being given to the 501c3 private does originate in LLC, and the money is in the LLC is of undisclosed origin. Wait, does originate in the LLC? Oh, is the trust the LLC? Just money listed as the trust. How does he link the LLC and the trust here? I don't understand. The trust would sit at the highest point of this chain. You can look at the SEC filings here. I'm about to see some confusing fucking shit. This SEC pay. Oh. What the fuck? Taylor saying she receives money directly from Omidyar is a lie. She does not know the source of the money that is in the foundation. It comes at least partly from the LLC with no disclosure requirements. Well, but I think the money comes from his Oh, shit. Sorry. Hold on. Wait. Oh, fuck. Hold on. I just had a brain blast. Never mind. Maybe. Sorry. Fuck. I know why you just said that. Sits on top of. I know what you're saying. Hold on. Wait. I brain blasted. So when this says, in 2020, the foundation received a stock donation of a mission-related investment valued at this from Omidyar Network Fund LLC, a related party. This money that it received, now on the Schedule B, it says that it came from the trust. And I'm saying, well, it sounds like they just fucked up, but they didn't fuck up. This trust holds this LLC. This LLC is a part of this trust. They just use a greater degree of specificity in the auditing paper here than what's required on the 990 PF Schedule B. Right? I think I understand. Okay. Can you prove that? Well, you said they have the same address. But a trust, probably, maybe a trust can't even send or do anything. It just literally has, there would have to be business or something inside the trust. Fuck, I don't know how trusts are. I lied earlier when I said I actually don't know 100% the tax structure of a trust. Okay. One of the things that... Okay, so here's the question. Okay? Non-cash donations are not shown on Schedule B. It's on Schedule M. What? I'm looking at the Schedule B right here, and it literally has a non-cash contribution. Do not read what's behind you. No. Does this trust, or any part in this trust, the LLC or anything, does it make filings anywhere? That Omidyar Network Fund LLC... Well, no, it wouldn't, because it's not described as any 501c organized entity, as any nonprofit, right? So that means that theoretically, we have no idea what money goes into the Omidyar Network Fund LLC. We don't know anything about this trust. We just know that money from the trust can go into this network fund. So the question is, would she consider that dark money? So theoretically, I could give any amount of money to Pierre M. Omidyar, and then it would go into his trust or whatever, and then he could put that money into this, and you would have no record of that. You would only see it on the, you would just see the trust transferring money, I think, right? If I'm understanding that correctly. And the LLC is literally described as a sister group to the nonprofit. It depends on the trust, because trust instruments vary wildly. I guess asking what the threshold for reporting donations would be for dark money, like how many companies and steps do you have to track to an endpoint before considering it not dark? Well, like I would consider dark money to be, if you want to use the term dark money, then I think you can talk about the entity itself. I think it's probably fine. So like if you want to call like a 501c4 private foundation, right? No. A charity, a 501c4 charity. Well, the private foundation has to report the money they receive, but they don't have to disclose the names and addresses. Wait, so why does she consider the 1630 fund dark money? Just because they don't report the names and addresses of the people, but they report the income? The trust appears to be a private equity that doesn't have to disclose anything. Show me that in something. Does the streamer read YouTube chat messages? Nope. Only to read them to say that I do read them, and then I don't read them. Holy fucking AIDS. The confusing part for me is that in my experience, trusts are ran by a bank type thing, but maybe when you have a huge amount of money, you do something else with trusts. Well, it's the Pierre Omidyar guy, I think is like a billionaire, so he runs his own shit. Isn't that what it means, that the donors are dark because their names are concealed? Yeah, I guess, but that seems... Well, that just seems really cringe, though. Because let's say, for instance, let's say there's a 501c4, and let's say that 501c4 spends $100 million advertising for some candidate, or advertising for some political social welfare thing or whatever, right? If I look at the 990 Schedule B, and I see that of that $100 million, like their largest donor donated $10,000, and then every other donor was like under that, do I really care? Is that like a dark money slush fund? As opposed to, let's say that they were a 501c4 and then they filed a 990, and then I look at the Schedule B and they have two $50 million anonymous donors. That looks a lot weirder, right? But the name and the address being anonymous, I feel like that would only matter if it like reached a certain threshold, if it was above a certain amount or something. Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Anyone see that Jordan drama? 14-year-old killed himself and apparently was playing an anime game Doki Doki shit. So I wonder who is actually paying out then. For in the Reporters and Residents program, they're just 1099 contractors of the Omidyar Network Fund. That's what they are. Can a 501c3 1099 people? I've been a tax accountant for 15 years. I don't see what is truly complicated here. Taylor on stream said she received funding from an LLC. She seemed to verify that over and over. Well, she repeated it over and over. She didn't verify anything. But the claim is whether or not all of the money that she received can be traced back to some original donor, as opposed to an LLC that could theoretically have funds or money coming from anywhere going to her, because that's her claim of dark money. Because my original claim was her saying that Chorus is a dark money operation because of any kind of attachment to the 1630 fund. When we know both what the 1630 fund stands for and what Chorus stands for, it seems weird to call it dark money, because how far back do you have to go for disclosure to know what's dark money or not? So and then I think the example I gave was, if I paid somebody money to go do some kind of activism, is that dark money because you don't know where I get my money from? A trust is just a pool of stocks. The way it would be structured is the Omidyars are either the grantee and the LLC is the trustee, and the foundation is the beneficiary. But we have no idea what goes on inside the trust at all, right? But that's just a fact, right? So so if we were to trace the funds for let's just do this. Reporters in residence. I hate using these dark and light terms. It's actually so fucking cringe, but okay. So we would say that the money is going from, we have the trust. We have the Omidyar Trust. And then the money from there will go to the Omidyar Network Fund. And then we would 1099 a residence reporter or whatever. So this fund is a 501c3. So we would say not dark, right, if we want to say that. But the trust, this is just privately held stuff, I guess you could say. So we would consider this dark. So money can go from the trust to the Omidyar Network Fund, which will then 1099 residence reporters. And then if we were to compare the chain of money from the 1630 fund, well, this didn't even make sense because the 1630 fund wasn't funding Chorus to Chorus influencers. So Chorus was getting money only from donations because the 1630 fund served as a fiscal sponsor. But we could call it a dark sponsor, I guess, because we don't know who the 1630 fund gets money from. And then Chorus is now a 501c4. So we could consider Chorus now to be dark money. Although before she was saying Chorus wasn't dark money, but I think it's because at the time Chorus was just a project in the 1630 fund, which was served as their fiscal sponsor. And then that money is paid to Chorus influencers. But there's not technically, there should be no financial transfer here. No grant or money transfer. Only funnels money through donations to Chorus via ActBlue link. I guess I could put all this. I wonder what Wikipedia says when they talk about in 2020, Pierre and Pam Omidyar donated $45 million to the 1630 fund. It's in Politico. Sure. But what's the point of saying that? Well, you could argue that their donation would have more than covered the entire cost of Chorus. Why do we even know that they donated that money to the 1630 fund? Shouldn't we not know that? Or did they just say it publicly? My only question is, why would Omidyar use an LLC at all if none of his contributions to that LLC are tax deductible as opposed to just directly funding a 501c3? Well, if he has a trust that has stocks or something, if he transfers it to himself from the trust, I imagine that would incur some taxable event, and then he could donate it to the C3 after for a tax deduction. But it's probably easier to just go right from the sheltered trust right to the C3. Would be my guess. The Omidyar Nexus? Oh my god, shut the fuck up. Oh, wait, what the fuck? Wait, this is so much more information. Wait, what is this? Hold on. The Omidyar Network is a for-profit LLC operating alongside a nonprofit sibling, Omidyar Network Fund. Both were formed in 2000. Wait, Omidyar Network. Is that the same thing as the trust? Wait, what the fuck? is a for-profit LLC operating alongside a non-profit sibling, the Omidyar Network Fund. Both are formed in 2004. The Omidyar Network is a self-styled philanthropic investment firm established with seed capital from the IPO of eBay in 2004. The LLC arm invests in four main areas. Like traditional investment firm, aims to transform the U.S. economy along legislative and ideological lines. The Omidyar Network Fund is a non-profit arm of Omidyar Network, established as a 501c3 private foundation in 2004. Well, we know that. Okay. Fund's heavily left-of-center advocacy groups based. In 2020 alone, the fund contributed $6.1 million to New Venture Fund, the largest nonprofit in a billion-dollar dark money network run by Arabella Advisors. Hold on. In 2020 alone, the fund contributed $6.1 million to New Venture Fund, the largest nonprofit in a billion-dollar dark money network. Oh, because so this New Venture Fund should be a 501c4 then, right? No, this is a C3. What the fuck? Why is this dark money then? The New Venture Fund is 501c3 funding and fiscal sponsorship nonprofit that makes grant. Oh, because it's a charity thing, or it's not like a private foundation, so it doesn't have to publish. It doesn't have to publish its Schedule B, like a private foundation would. The fund focuses primarily on social and environmental change, issuing grants for a variety of projects that include conservation, global health. Okay, it is the largest 501c3 nonprofit in the network of 5 nonprofits created and managed by this. Okay, inside over 400 million. Critics, including the New York Times, argue that New Venture Fund is a dark money organization serving as a way for left-leaning foundations and donors to anonymously funnel money towards various political advocacy groups, such as attacking vulnerable Republicans like financial often obscures the identity of donors as dark money, calling the network a leading vehicle for it on the left. And then they operate alongside its sister nonprofit, 1630 Fund. Okay, hey, we know that. Okay, so New Venture Fund is the C3. The 1630 Fund is the C4. Which provides similar funding for fiscal results in it. Administered by Arabella Advisors. Holy shit. This is actual cancer AIDS. I think that Citizens United was a mistake. I changed my mind now, because this is all fucking AIDS as fuck. Jesus Christ. A smoking gun with the trust being Schedule B out of California, 1582. What is it? What do you mean? 1582 specifically. A trust company's office employees shall not disclose any information, any risk concerning the existence, condition, management, and administration of any private trust confided to it, except where such disclosure is in the other terms of trust. Oh, well, we know that the trust, it's a private trust, right? We know that much, I think, right? We know that. Total revenues, total expenditures. Democracy Fund. Oh, this Influence Watch websites, they describe the 1630 fund as pass-through. Interesting. The 1630 fund is a hub of undisclosed political spending. I don't like the way this is phrased very confusingly. And then they use the fiscal sponsor Because it says incubating and financing various progressive projects, but it doesn't finance them, right? It just provides the C4 cover and then... Or does it? The 1630 fund can legally spend up to 49% of its budget on political activities, including transfers to super PACs. So we should be able to look at the 1630 fund, our Form 990, and then was it Section 4 or Part 4? No. Where was the revenues and shit? Statement of revenue, and then statement of functional expenses. Grants and other assistance to domestic organizations and domestic organs. If so this is 236 million paid out in grants. Is this all pass through, or is there? How would you even know that? Grants and other assistance to domestic, or is other assistance? Does this mean like in kind? Because if it's only a pass through or fiscal sponsor, what does this grant part mean? See Part 4, line 21. Part 4, line 21. Did the organization report more than 5,000 grants or other assistance? Other assistance, can that other assistance include the, I guess just the fiscal sponsorship, I guess? Damn, this is a brutal Wikipedia article. Holy shit. Politico has described the 1630 Fund as a left-leaning secret money group. Why is this above the... this is just like in the summary of the thing, right? Politico has described the 1630 Fund as a left-leaning secret money group, writing that the group illustrates the extent to which the left embraced the use of dark money to fight for its causes in recent years. After decrying big money Republican donors over the last decade, as well as the Supreme Court rulings that flooded politics with more cash, Democrats now benefit from hundreds of millions of dollars of undisclosed donations as well. According to Politico, the 1630 Fund's activities are a sign that Democrats and allies have embraced the methods of groups they decried as dark money earlier this decade when they were under attack from the money machines built by conservatives, including the Kochs. Because it is a nonprofit, the 1630 Fund is not required to disclose its donors, even though it spends significant amounts on politics. Jesus. They really went hard on this. God damn. Is there talk? I wonder what the talk page looks like for this. Oh, Omidyar Network funding. Why? Holy shit. Oh, man. Why is that being brought up here? The current text says, that one of the 1630 Fund's largest confirmed donors is also funding Omidyar's Reporters in Residence program. Omidyar Network has publicly stated the opposite, that the Reporters in Residence program receives no funding via the 1630 Fund or any outside sources. Well, that's not what this says. It says the same person donates to both, no? Is this your fault? What, do I know her husband? Destin, you haven't even gotten to Democracy Fund Voice, which is another 501c4 founded by Omidyar. I haven't. To be clear, for the millionth time, because apparently some people thought otherwise yesterday. I'm not criticizing Omidyar. I don't even know if I have a problem necessarily with these 501c4s. Or maybe I don't think they should exist, but like as a matter of like law, maybe we should change the way that we do these social welfare things. We're doing a lot of reading into this just because I'm curious how transparent the funding is on all of this. From because Taylor Lorenz is so obsessed with this concept of dark money, whatever the fuck this means. But I'm not necessarily criticizing this guy or this funding thing in particular. Okay. This makes Cohen's claim misleading if presented without clarification. Per Wikipedia neutral point of view and Wikipedia BLP, I don't know what that means. I removed the Omidyar content from the 1631 spending section. While I disagree with this and what sentence was saying, it was saying that Omidyar elected under 1630 also money to a non-1630 project. Oh, true. And that is because of the idea of the rest of the money. I've removed the content because to have it in the article, it needs to be due, which would require several notable, I don't know what the fuck any of these things mean. Due and undue weight. Reliable, okay. Be writing about this part of the Taylor Lorenz dust-up as if they were all majorly notable facts about 1630. This hasn't happened. Chorus article? If chorus drama continues for a while, maybe it deserves its own article. Can we talk about how Lorenz's article contradicts itself? Oh my god, I just had a brain blast. One of the most retarded debates I'd ever seen Straight Array Aaron engage in. I remember it was over these words. Funnel all bookings. I think Aaron was making the argument that when Taylor Lorenz said that they had to funnel all their bookings through these people, Aaron was making the argument that that just means you have to like clue them in on it or loop them in. That funneling things is the same as looping somebody in on it. I think, was it her and Pisco or somebody else that argued for like an hour on that? And it was like, no, funneling means that you're sending everything to somebody else. That's what it means to funnel all your bookings. You have to send them all through somebody else, not looping somebody in and just letting them know. Oh, was it with Gistigal? Holy shit, that was such a oh my god, that argument was like over an hour long. It was painful. Jesus. Oh my god. Taylor's got wiki warriors out here. Video and timestamp with the contract. This was painful.
Management software.
Oh god.
Okay. So if...
Well, the reason why we don't understand what that means is because no one will show us a full fucking contract, so we're having to divine these things based on the context, but the context is only more confusing.
Why is Taylor Lorenz, why is she saying things that aren't true then? If this is, proprietary software.
Because she saw the whole contract and we did not. And so she may not have said something untrue.
I think she said something untrue.
You don't know that. You haven't seen the whole contract, Pisco.
So you think that this alone, the booking engagement section, that there's a possibility that the other parts of the contract, or reasonable possibility, that the other parts of this contract...
I would hope that there's some sort of appendix. No. There's some sort of appendix that clarifies what the hell the chorus newsroom is, what the hell the difference between a booking and engagement a booking versus an engagement opportunity, and then from there, the stipulations are laid out and we can better understand what is being said here.
All right, let's press play. We've looped enough.
Okay. Well, I like to think it's not looping because we kept coming up with different angles to understand the language of this contract through. If you're keeping in mind like a different interpretation of what constitutes a newsroom, or now again the latest wrench that has been thrown into it is what booking and engagement is, and it sounds like both of us were off. It might not even be in reference to a location. It might not be in reference to employees. It might be in reference to a fucking.
No, it was this. Hold on.
Of course, no, like, I don't think I've ever told them that before, but that's not what's important. What's important is that they're literally acknowledging here that you can book it yourself, and the fact that the person who wrote this article claims to have read through the entire contract, but like here it is clearly written that what you stated in your article was categorically false. Like that is quite concerning about your journalistic integrity. Like I get that these contracts are long and confusing.
So let's see what Lauren. Wait, is it Lauren? I can't even. My brain is Oh my God, Taylor, Lorenz. I'm crazy. Let's see what she said specifically about this.
Oh, you said Lauren?
Yeah, I don't know when I said that.
Well, because she's Lorenz, I guess maybe.
Yeah.
Lauren. But I mean, I don't know. Your tone just like dropped a lot. You just chilled the fuck out a lot after.
I'm just tired of you. Like, I'm so tired of your shit.
Okay, but I'm wondering, like, again, you were kind of gung ho based off what you had seen so far. That like, no, like that's not. That's wait, hold on. Then you can scream. That you were insistent that like, no, I don't think that this contract forbids them from engaging, like trying to interact with other politicians without disclosing or letting Chorus know, like, hey, I'm doing this of my own volition or whatever. If they're going to be using Chorus's like assets, any equipment, their room, that would make sense to me that they're like, we have to be clued in on this because we're like integral to the logistics of that happening, right?
So one, I would, if I were these people, like, given the context of this like booking engagement section, that it seems to be relevant to the Chorus newsroom, and so I wouldn't like, and it seems like the common practice is like they're not actively sending at least the course of dealing, right? The course of how they're proceeding isn't to like let Chorus know every time they talk to someone. So that seems to be either she thinks she's violating the contract. I wouldn't read it that way. I don't know if that's the best way to read it, but even put that aside.
Wait, she thinks she's not violating it. She's like, they don't control who I talk to because here's me reaching out to Zoran and it's fine.
So Taylor Lorenz, this is how she says it. Creators also have to loop Chorus in on any independently organized engagements with government officials or political leaders. Now, when she says loop Chorus in, what do you think is a normal?
No, that is true. That is true. Like when I'm paying attention to like the brass tacks of the language that she used to characterize what the creators reported to her.
Right.
I understand. Okay. It was what that meant. Yeah. So creators also have to loop Chorus in on any independently organized engagements with government officials or political leaders. So this part here is not true, or it doesn't seem to be true, because based on the plain reading of the contract, it looks like the only thing you have to notify them of are engagements that you organize, the contacts you get through the newsroom. Jesus. So if you go to their newsroom and then you meet some Zoran Mamdani who comes in to tell you how cool Islamic jihadism is, okay, in the Chorus newsroom, anything that you organize there, you have to loop Chorus in on. It sounds like that's what's going on there. But then the way that this is written, it makes it sound like if you're contracted with Chorus, you have to basically loop them in on every single, anything you book, I guess. I don't know where I don't know why we got into funnel. But following the national outreach menu, must funnel all bookings with, because she says funnel up here. Creators Network must funnel all bookings with lawmakers and political leaders through Chorus. That's a super extreme statement. That's definitely not justified by any part of the contract. And funnel all bookings, it means something different than loop Chorus in on. Like these are two different things. But
No, that is true. That is true. Like when I'm paying attention to like the brass tacks of the language that she used to characterize what the creators reported to her,
right.
She did say that she does not say it was this creator's interpretation that based on the language they viewed in the contract that they would need to do this to be in compliance with it. She is saying that's what they interpreted, and that's my interpretation of this contract. That if they do not do that, I agree with
what you just said, right? But like, even just look there. Creators also have to loop Chorus in on any independently organized engagement with government officials or political leaders. That I think leaves the notion that they're forcing Chorus to be a middleman in all these communications, right?
Yeah.
Looping someone into a communication means including them typically, right?
Well, not necessarily. At least notifying them that you have an obligation to notify them that if you want to talk to Rokana, that if I am a creator,
she's restating what Fiscal said. That's looping somebody in. Yeah.
In this program, and then I decide I want to interview Richie Torres. That before I go do that, I have to I have to ask Chorus for permission to, or I have to disclose that I'm doing that to them.
But hang on. So before that, it says, according to copies of the contract viewed by Wire, creators in this program must funnel all bookings through Chorus. That's not true.
Wait, let's see.
The contract clearly anticipates independently obtained, even if you read it in the way that I think that you don't need to read it, but even if you read it that way, it's not the case that creators in the program must funnel all bookings through Chorus. Because it says...
Well, the thing is, hold on. The thing in the contract, it says on topics related to Chorus's policy agenda, but I don't like... do they mean by Chorus's policy agenda? Do they mean if you ever want to talk to a politician about things that they have stated, which is like the racial justice thing, affordable healthcare, etc., or is it only when you are explicitly stating like no, Chorus's policy agenda, not just these policy items? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Let's do one thing at a time. I'm hearing what you're saying.
Okay, we're not going to rerun this whole thing. Is there any example? Can somebody link me? Was there ever any mainstream media news article that was released that spoke so much about like contracts like this that didn't include any original language from the contract? Is there like an example of this? Because goddamn, did that Wired article drive me fucking crazy. But I'd be curious, maybe this does happen and I'm just more permissible of it because I just don't trust Taylor. I'm not sure. Okay. I think I'm done with this. We're good. I don't know if me and Taylor will ever argue again on this, but you can call the 1630 fund because it is a 501c4. You can call this a dark money fund, but it would be incorrect to say that the 1630 fund ever funded Chorus. If you want, you can say that Chorus is a dark money fund because they're organized as a C4. Although she said that they weren't dark money, but maybe that's because when she originally wrote the article, they didn't have their own C4 status yet. Am I being charitable? Maybe. For the Omidyar Network Fund, because that's organized as a C3, you can see where their money comes from, but their money comes from Omidyar Trust and Omidyar Network Fund LLC, which are both technically dark money funds because we have no idea what goes in or out of those. But the main takeaway from all of this is that dark money is a retarded fucking term, and this is a retarded fucking topic. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. Schizo rambling presidential address. Gavin Newsom's interview weeks ago was perhaps the most self-destructive interview I've ever seen. In one fell swoop, he took himself out of even being considered as the presidential nominee of the crown. Okay, I'm good.